as a method of controlling humanity has always disappeared behind the veil of national security. Did you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the U-2 was flying many, many years before anybody knew that it existed? And before anybody even knew that it existed, the SR-71, the Blackbird, was flying. Before you even knew about the U-2, did you know that stealth aircraft were developed long, long, long before you ever heard of the stealth fighter, the B-2 bomber? Did you know that those aircraft were in the air flying years and years before the public ever even had an inkling that they existed? You have no idea, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you right now that whatever you perceive to be the state-of-the-art of technology, any technology in the civilian sector, in the secret, ladies and gentlemen, they are at least, very bare minimum, 50 to 100 years ahead, beyond what you can even imagine. You're going to say, well, look at all the technology that came out of the space program. They must have gone to the moon. No, ladies and gentlemen. That technology did not come from putting men on the moon. It came from the secret black projects into the space program and then out into the public sector as the only way that they could do it without tipping their hand that they've had these things for many, many, many years. And you should see the way they use it. I can remember when I was a young boy, ladies and gentlemen. A young boy. I was born in 1943. In 1947, the supposed Roswell crash occurred. Before then, my father brought home to me something that looked like thin tinfoil, a sheet of it. I remember it just like it was yesterday. And so do many other people remember this substance. It was nothing new. It didn't come from alien technology, and it sure didn't come from any crash at Roswell, because this was before Roswell. My father brought it home and gave it to me. And I could crumple it up into a little ball, put it on the table, and it would straighten itself out just as if it had never been crumpled at all without even a wrinkle in it. There are a lot of other things you need to understand. I'm not quite sure I know how to tell them all to you. But back in the 50s, they were working on atomic-powered aircraft, ladies and gentlemen. Atomic-powered aircraft, you say? Yes, that's correct. Well, how could they power atomic aircraft? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I don't really know. Because I know that atomic power produces heat. Heat can be used to create steam, and steam can be used to power an engine or make something turn and revolve. But it cannot make a jet exhaust, because you couldn't carry enough water to fly it very far. But I know that they made them, and I know that they flew them. And they may still be flying them. Nobody knows what kind of power plant propels these flying discs and egg-shaped things and round glowing balls that float through the sky that come in and out of secret test sites owned and controlled by the United States government in Nevada and Utah and some other places that will go unnamed for the time being. Colorado is one. New Mexico. Arizona, yes, Arizona. Why do all these things occur in the West? Because, ladies and gentlemen, in those days in this country when they were looking for places to build this technology and keep it secret from the American population and from the world at large, This was the only place where there were vast expanses of land that you could cross for days and days and days and never see another living soul. And that should be obvious to you. That's why most of the sightings of these things have always been in the West. Not all, but most. There were certain things that the alchemists had as their goal, ladies and gentlemen. One was to change matter into something else. They did that when they dropped the atomic bomb. They called it the Trinity site. Not for the Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, but for Osiris, Isis, and Horus. The meaning of which you have not the slightest conception, except for those who have been listening to all my broadcasts on the symbology of the mysteries. Now, ladies and gentlemen, starting Monday, I'm going to be elaborating again on the lost light, the lost word, the true hidden meaning of the mystery schools, the adepts known as the Illuminati. Those people who are propelling the world in the direction they wish it to go. When you learn all of this and you understand it, you look around at the vast population who knows absolutely nothing of the power that directs their future. All of a sudden you realize and you understand exactly why they call us cattle. And then you even begin to understand how they could cause wars and kill tremendous numbers of people to achieve a certain goal and not even feel the slightest pangs of conscience. For just as we would kill a cow to provide meat for our table, ladies and gentlemen, they look upon the normal human being as nothing more than an animal, because they cannot use the brains of the intellect that God gave them in their estimation. They believe that a nation or world of people who will not use their intelligence are no better than animals that have no intelligence, and such people are beasts of burden and stakes on the table by choice and consent. Think about that. Think about it. Because that is truly what they believe about you. And in their religion that denies the existence of Jesus Christ, or even of a God, really, the closest they get to God is a sort of a pantheism. That everything is hooked together. You've heard it in the New Age movement. As above, so below. If you step on an ant, it does something to somewhere on the moon. That kind of thinking. And the truth is, no matter how much you believe in whatever it is that you believe, not one single one of us is ever going to know until we die. That's why they call it religion. It's based upon pure faith. Science surpasses religion only by its insistence that nothing can be called fact, nothing can be believed unless it can be proven to do the same thing under the same circumstances every time that it's attempted in the laboratory. That's called the scientific method, ladies and gentlemen. But scientists have discovered that You can do it the same way, with the same ingredients, over and over and over again for 5 million times, and then for some unexplained reason, the next time it will not work. And so science says there are no facts, only hypotheses based upon things that they can say are known, or the fact that they can repeat this thing over and over again so many times. At the heart and soul of everything that is happening, ladies and gentlemen, in the world today, the driving force behind it is an ancient, secret religion that has as one of its tenets that there is a superior race. Not superior because God said that they were superior, or that God was pleased with them and made them his chosen people. And don't misunderstand me, folks. I'm not talking about Jews. I'm talking about the collective body of the Anglo-Aryan race that calls itself the Illuminati. Their exoteric version of this religion is British Israelism, Zionism. There are many more Zionists that are Christians than are Jews. And most Jews don't buy into any of this baloney, ladies and gentlemen, don't even have the slightest idea what I'm talking about any more than most of you do. George Bush is one of these people. George Bush is not a Jew. The Pope is one of these people. The Pope is not a Jew. So don't compound the problem by thinking that you know exactly what it is that I'm talking about, because I can assure you that you don't. NASA is a great part of this deception. NASA has been made up by all different kinds of people, of all professed different religions. The truth is that none of these people really believe in any religion. When they go to church or they profess a religion, it's because they have to do it to get along in the community, or to get along with their wife or their relatives or somebody. Watch the space program. Watch the pictures brought back by the Pathfinder. And folks, if you really study that little thing and use your head and study all of those photographs, you're going to be amazed. You're going to be absolutely dumbfounded. And then you may become dangerous, like me. Won't that be a trip if all of a sudden we had several million dangerous radio hosts in this country, all broadcasting on low-power transmitters, driving Rex Jensen completely out of his mind. I'm going to try to hook up about 5 other people in this valley with low-power transmitters, and Rex Johnson will probably be seen after that sitting on a park bench, blubbering in his milk, yelling about 3-year prison terms.